What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. I apologize for going ghost on you guys. Just taking a little break from social media. To respond to some of your guys' comments, no, I have not been banned from Instagram. I just deactivated it for a little bit because unlike a lot of people on social media, I actually have a life outside of social media. But I'm back. On today's episode, I want to talk about India. I want to talk about specifically my experience in India. Made a lot of videos about India, responding to other content creators, less than genuine experience they had in India. Get a lot of comments on those videos saying, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. Stop glazing India. You've never been. I actually have been to India. Earlier in 2025, almost a year ago, I spent over a month traveling around India, about 5.5 weeks. I had a great time. Today I want to talk about it. Talk about the good, bad, and the ugly. In my case, it was mostly good. Let's debunk and kind of shed light on a lot of the lies that Westerners, specifically white Westerners, unfortunately, like to just say about India and defame it in a way, and just kind of be disingenuous about it because it's really popular online to kind of defame that specific country. This video will be a little different than my previous ones. Instead of a talking head, I'll insert a lot of footage that I shot while I was in India and a lot of vlogs that I shot. And I haven't really shared it at all on Instagram or here on YouTube. I posted them a while back on TikTok, but here we go. Part 1 would be starting in Kolkata, India, West Bengal. That's where I started my journey. I was in Bangladesh for about 2 weeks and then I flew to Kolkata. Now, India is one of those countries that I've always wanted to travel to ever since I was a child. Living in the Western world and seeing various media pieces about India, reading various books. Bollywood, as some Westerners wouldn't care to admit, is still very influential in the Western world. I didn't know this until recent. Calcutta, now Kolkata, served as the capital of British India up until 1911. So that was pretty cool. I didn't know that. And now it's Delhi, obviously, is the capital of India. Kolkata is interesting. The first thing I noticed once I landed in India for the first time was a sense of nostalgia, a weird sense of nostalgia, considering I am not Indian myself. I have no Indian ancestry and I hadn't been to that part of the world at all, but I had this weird sense of nostalgia that kind of washed over me. And it just felt right. Once I landed, I was like, it feels right to be here. One cool thing about Kolkata, I was only there for 3 days, but I did notice the classic yellow taxi cabs that are in the city. I think it was really cool and aesthetic. Headed to Club Kachari right now. Hopefully I get to meet a Kolkata legend. Starting to get late in the day. Hopefully he's open. Oh, he's here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm trying the famous dish from the famous food stall here in Kolkata. Let's see how it tastes. They serve it in like these, I think they're banana leaves. Yeah, delicious. It's very spicy. On social media, people make it look like it's cold. It's not. It's hot. It's delicious. Yummy. I think it was only like 40 rupees. So like, I don't know, 20 cents. If you're in Kolkata, this is a staple. 8 out of 10. Yo, low-key, that was gas. That was really delicious. I'm gonna wash up here in the sidewalk. Obviously, don't swallow the water. Okay, it's 24 hours later. That food did not make me sick. For those of you who don't know, that man, he blew up on Instagram and TikTok. A lot of people make fun of him because of the supposed unhygienic standards of his stall. I think a lot of it's just Western racism. The food didn't kill me. Stop being mean to him. He's just a street food vendor trying to make a living. He's a hardworking man. If you're in Kolkata, go to his stall, support him. The food was delicious. So yeah, I headed west to the state of Jharkhand. I jumped on the train and I set out on an adventure. Now, the one thing I will say about the trains in India, it's my main form of transportation I took while I was in India was just simply trains. The trains are great. If you book the nicer trains in advance and book first class in advance, I would highly recommend booking it in advance because it sells out quick. You'll have the same train experience as you would have in like most European countries. Way better than the train experience you definitely have in Canada or the USA. So the trains are great in India. I would give them probably like an 8.5 out of 10. But you got to book them in advance. That's the catch, is because a lot of the local trains you take, if you only book, come last minute, the local trains are the only ones left. Those are less than desirable, especially if you're a weak, British person, a British tourist that you see so much on social media complaining about the local trains. You might have a less than desirable experience. I myself even like the local trains. I rode a lot of local trains. They're great. It's an adventure. Like if you're traveling through India as a Westerner, look at it as an adventure and just embrace it. You'll have a great time. This is what $25 a night gets you in Dhanbad, India. Nice single bed room. Flat screen TV's nice. I get to watch my Bollywood movies. The bathroom looks good. My only complaint is it could be a lot cleaner and they could have a teapot for my tea. But other than that, the staff seems really friendly. There's a restaurant. You can order food. So yeah, this is $25 a night in Dhanbad. The next day I headed further west to Bihar, Gaya in Bihar. Bihar is an interesting state because it is it's like Louisiana or Mississippi in the United States. It's the official poorest state in India. So, you're not going to get a 5-star experience just because, there's a lot of low income people. Half the population of that state is in poverty. Just a poor state, a lot of agriculture, a lot of farmers. In Gaya, I wanted to see the Buddha of Gaya, but it was closed. So that was unfortunate. I wasn't able to. I just explored the city for a couple days. I was there just kind of recuperating from the last 5 months of travel that I had throughout Asia. So just explored the city and the local cuisine. Again, it's a poorer state, so you're not going to get the Mumbai, South Delhi, places in Rajasthan experience, All right, I got to make a coffee run. I'm craving coffee because I've been drinking tea over the last month. This is my hotel room. 25 bucks a night in Gaya, India. And I need to go get coffee. Let's go get coffee. It's got to be 115 Fahrenheit or like 40 Celsius. It is so hot right now. I just got here about 25 minutes ago on the train from Dhanbad. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing a train journey across India. My next destination is going to be Varanasi in 2 days. Hang out here in Gaya for 2 days, see what's up. There's a dried up river and then there's like a Buddha statue, like a 35-minute drive from here. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Hi, how are you? There's bumper to bumper rickshaws. Hello. Squeeze through here and not get run over. Hi, how are you? You good? Now, according to Google Maps, it says that there's a coffee shop. The camera's probably gonna overheat. It's so hot right now. My phone overheats even when I don't use it. My hotel is right next to the train station, probably like 500 meters. You got brand new bikes here. Okay, where is this place? I'm looking for the chocolate room. $146? Yeah. You can, there's 200, you can, 146, there's 200, you can keep the change for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. It's super hot. I'm probably just gonna go back to my hotel room. Tea?
Tea.
Yeah. Tea. Chai tea. It's very yummy. What's up with you guys? You guys have been following me. These dudes have been following me for like 600 meters. Just walking right behind me. What's up with you, bro? You good? You good? All right. Chill? Okay. You chill, bro? Good? All right. He like filters it and strains it. That's cool. There goes a local chai. It's like almost like a shot glass. That's hot but delicious. So it's really cool. In India, they use the cow dung as fuel. They like smear it and they make like these little cakes out of them. And it dries out in the sun and then they burn it for fuel because firewood is pretty expensive and rare in this part of the world. So that's why when you see on social media them making the cow cakes out of the cow dung, they're using it for fuel. Very interesting. He's burning it right here. From there, I moved on and I headed further west on train. A very nice business class, high-speed electric train. That's very nice that you hardly see on social media. When I got to Varanasi, you step out of one of their main train stations in Varanasi and you get a tuk-tuk. Contrary to popular belief on social media, I'll say Western social media, Western travel social media, most rickshaw and tuk-tuk drivers, they're not scamming you if they charge you hundreds of rupees. That is most likely the going price. My accommodation was on the river. The train station, it was like over an hour through the city. Through the congested city, and he charged me like 500 rupees, which is like probably around $5 in British pounds. It's less than $5. Most Western backpackers would gawk at that and complain and say it's too much. It's $5 to go over an hour through a very populated city, so that's the going price. So I just wouldn't recommend haggling too much. It's cringe. You can afford it. He's trying to, make a living, these drivers. So yeah, just pay him what they ask for. And actually, I think this tuk-tuk that I took in Varanasi to my accommodation he quoted me like 400, maybe it was like 350, and I paid him when I got to the accommodation. I had like a 500 rupee bill and I just gave it to him. So yeah, don't be a loser brokey who, is going to these countries when you make triple their pay in the West and you try and haggle. It's not a good look. And in 2026, we need to end that. Varanasi was one of my favorite cities in all of India that I've been to. It's notorious for its culture, its history, obviously in Hindus, it's very holy. It's a very holy city in the religion of Hinduism. I'm not going to go into details because I'll just probably get the facts wrong, but you can research Varanasi. It's notorious. I booked a local tour out of my hostel. This local gentleman, he showed us around. We had an amazing experience. Tried the local cuisine. Went to the ceremonies they have on the river. A great time. I would recommend if you're in India, you have to visit Varanasi. It's a staple. Definitely. I was there for like a week. After taking the local tours, I just explored myself. If you're a photographer, a videographer, a content creator, Varanasi, it's got a lot of content to be filmed and shot. Endless. So yeah, I just stayed and I just documented, the locals, the beautiful locals, the local life. It's great. I bought souvenirs and had a good time. Hear that? Varanasi, India. Man, this city is a vibe. So that's the one right there with the musical voice. I don't know what breed it is. It looks like some sort of blackbird. Okay, you probably can't see it because my lens does not have the focal length enough, but there's a camel on the other shore across the river. Right there where the tip of my index finger is, that's a camel. So we're at the River Ganges today here at Varanasi, and I'm gonna take a bath in it. Hello. Hi. Can I swim? Is that okay? Okay. Hi, how's it going? And then I'm only gonna go up to my neck. All right, let's try it out. It's pretty hot. I want to get cooled off. Yeah, slippery. Very slippery. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
How do you?
You're good? Oh, it's very refreshing. It's very refreshing. Yeah. It feels very good. Thank you so much. I don't know what it's called. If you know what it's called, put it in the comments down below. It's like potato and sauces and onions on top. It's delicious. It's very salty. But for a cheap snack on the road, it's not bad. This was 25 rupees, so like 35 cents, I think. Here in Varanasi, India. And then I headed from Varanasi, I headed south because I wanted to get into a national park. I wanted to see the nature of India because you don't see that a lot on social media. It's just the slum tours of like, I'm the first ever person to document this slum in Delhi. That nonsense you see so much on social media. I don't want that. I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to see nature because what's fascinated me about India for so long is they've got the largest concentration of tigers in the world. So I headed to Madhya Pradesh on the choo-choo train and I stopped in Bandivgarh National Park. Again, if I'm saying these names wrong, please forgive me. I'm just a Westerner. Say the names wrong, I apologize. So the city you stop in to visit Bandivgarh, if you're coming from the north, would be Katni. That's the main town you stop in, and then you would have to take another local train, or you could take I would just recommend booking like a taxi for like a couple $100, maybe like 80 to 90 British pounds or something, and just go Umaria. You would go east to Umaria, and in Umaria you take another local transportation. I took a rickshaw for like 1,000 rupees. It wasn't that much, and it was like a 2-hour ride up into the mountains to the national park. And in the national park, it's beautiful. I'm not exaggerating. It's one of the most coolest, exotic, beautiful places I've ever been in any country on earth. I've never been to sub-Saharan Africa, but it's got that vibe. It's just the old ancient world, where dinosaurs probably walked, millions and millions of years ago. Just villages, scattered villages. There's not a lot of humans that live in the national park, and there's no big city. So you're definitely off the beaten path, and it's very clean. It's not like, a slum. It's a very nice place to hang out. You've got a lot of resorts and different accommodations to choose from. I booked this last minute, so a lot of it was booked up, but I found my first accommodation was like a mid-tier resort for families. It was good. Bandivgarh National Park, it's got the largest concentration of tigers in all of India. Here comes my coffee. Hello. You can just set it over there, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, $54 a night after taxes. I think all the meals are included, if I remember right. So it's breakfast and I think it's just breakfast and dinner are included. But it's really good if you're with a group. I don't know about solo traveling here. I had to take a rickshaw all the way from Umaria, which was like 29 kilometers. So probably better if you bring your family and you drive your own car. So it's the off season right now. It's currently, oh yeah. Hello. Lunch. Yeah, can I eat it over here? In here? Okay. So it's currently the off season right now. It's May 5th right now, 2025. So this resort seems fairly abandoned. I talked to the guy who checked me in. He said there's tourists here. I've only seen a few, but it's amazing, dude. Like, you walk and you hear all these exotic sounds, birds and stuff. On the way here, there are these really big monkeys. I don't know the name of the breed, but they have long white hair and black faces, and they're the biggest monkey I've ever seen. And there's a bunch of really cool birds. It's pretty nice. For lunch, their main dining hall is massive, and it's surrounded by the lake, this like small like river. South Asian cuisine, nothing beats it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see how this tastes. Add some onion and some tomato. All vegetarian. Try the pepper. Put the onion on it for more flavor. This. It's so succulent and just very rich and satisfying. So I'm out on this bridge and I filmed that little cat just now. This tour jeep came by, and this lady told me allegedly somebody got mauled by a tiger here on this bridge. So, I mean, my resort, it's like less than 100 meters. It's right here. So the tigers are active in this area. I have to be careful. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Somebody was lunch, tiger lunch. Okay, but I have to be very aware right here because people get attacked.
Here it is not allowed to walk.
Oh, it's not allowed to walk.
Yeah.
Okay. So he said I have to get off the road because there's tigers that live in here. And he's like, they're always here. They're probably there watching me in the tall grass. So that's wild, bro. These dudes. This is a crazy place, bro. I've never been in a place like this where you're like, this is like Jurassic Park. Like, the humans are the prey, bro. You know, like, this is wild. It was the Tiger Valley Resort. I booked it last minute. It was kind of isolated. It would be better if you went with a family. If you had like a family or multiple friends and you definitely had your own car, probably would obviously be ideal. You know, it was just a little lonely. I took a tiger safari, and I saw tigers in the wild for the first time ever in my entire life. It was my first official safari as well. It was only like $75. Or like about 50 British pounds. So it was a really good deal, you know, and to see wild tigers in their natural habitat, I would highly recommend it. And then I moved accommodations to a nicer resort, a much nicer resort. Thank you so much. Up here, checking into my new resort. I'm moving accommodation. This place looks really nice. Are there monkeys here?
Yeah, monkeys here.
Yeah.
Around the monkeys.
Okay.
There is a swimming pool.
Okay, swimming pool.
Yeah, across the.
This is what, $220 per night gets you in Bandagard National Park? This property is like the Garden of Eden. It's crazy what money can buy, right? They have a bunch of cottages and each one of them is themed to a different state of India. This is nice. If I, the only unfortunate thing is if I stayed in places this night every night on my trips would only be 2 weeks long instead of 6 months long. But anyway, they have a pool. I'm heading to their pool. I'm gonna take a dip because it's really hot and then I'm gonna head to lunch. I think the property, the man said, checking me in, said it was 85 acres. I don't know how much that is in hectares, but here's the pool area. This is beautiful, dude. Definitely would be better if I was accompanied by a beautiful woman. You know, like places like this are definitely for more couples. I mean, because look, I mean, there's no one to talk to. There's no friends to make. And then, you know, you can talk to the staff, but that's about it. This is a really good break from, I mean, I hadn't stayed in hostels. It's been about almost 2 months since my last hostel. I did stay in a hostel in Varanasi for 3 nights and then I left and now I'm back in private rooms. The thing about hostels here in India, I noticed is, you know, it's just a bunch of like white Europeans complaining about India. It's really annoying. All the stereotypes about Americans traveling in bubbles and going to other parts of the planet and like only eating and consuming Western food and Western products. That's not true, bro. You know who does that? Europeans. They come to places like India and complain like, oh, they don't have the cheese and the bread that I'm used to. What's up with Europeans, dude, and the freaking cheese and bread? They're obsessed with cheese and bread, bro. Europeans, they only eat ingredients. They don't like full meals, you know, that are cooked and prepared like a long process that actually has flavor. Europeans, you just give them wine, bread, and cheese and they're happy. It's like, dude, go back to Denmark if you're miserable, you know? Take your white ass back to the Netherlands. The lovely lady is holding my swim trunks. This is feeding my lust to stay in the Maldives in one of those like underground, not underground, excuse me, underwater hotel rooms. One day soon. So I'm just heading to lunch just now and I was thinking, I feel like Casey Neistat in like classic 2015, 2016 YouTube. And he's like reviewing like really expensive hotel rooms, like about this hotel room or like super expensive like first class flights, you know, like he's all autistic about it. Like the caviar on Emirates is slightly less quality than like the caviar on Qatar, you know. It's like such niche luxury reviews, dude. That's what I feel like right now. Just anywhere? Yeah. Okay. Dude, this place is so beautiful. Look. I want to sit here. It's the cushions. Here is okay?
Yeah, please.
Okay. What kind of drinks do you have? I'll just take a Coke.
Cool.
Yeah, Coke is fine. Thank you so much, bro. Okay. Fire. This looks fire. Can't wait to taste. What do you think? 20 out of 10. Of course. And I stayed there for like a day and then I had to leave, sadly. But Bandhavgarh, definitely Tiger Reserve. I would highly recommend it. If you're in India, go to it. 10 out of 10, bro. Hang out in nature, see some wild cats. So I headed further south from there. I was actually going to Mumbai. I was just heading straight to Mumbai, but I hadn't quite had my fill of tigers and wildlife. So I stopped in, I looked on maps and I saw another national park, Satpura. So I was like, this looks like a cool place to visit. So I stopped in the town of Paparia. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologize if it's wrong. Stopped in this town of Paparia, got off the train and I took a it had to have been like over an hour private taxi to the town of Pachmari. Pachmari is a beautiful town kind of up in the mountains in the national park itself. I had an interesting experience. Wanted to be in nature for a little bit. I was punched in the face by a local man. That was kind of funny. And just enjoyed nature up there in that town. If you're in that region, I would recommend going to Satpura National Park, Pachmari town up in the mountains. Great experience. I think out of all the states, you know, only going to a handful of states in India while I was there, I think Madhya Pradesh was my most favorite one. I think it offers the most nature and it's a really cool state. I liked it a lot. Yeah, here in Satpura National Park. All these bugs flying in the lens. Satpura National Park here in India. It's crazy. You got these cap rocks over here. These like, it looks like they were handmade, you know? Way out there in the distance. It's starting to sprinkle a bit, so maybe I've effed myself. But the storm might be passing, I don't know. Anyway, look what I found. I came to the top of this ridge. You gotta see this. This is so freaking beautiful, dude. You guys live in Pachmari?
Yes.
Yeah? And you said, I met some friends here out on the cliff. You said there's tigers over here? Yeah? Like over there, tigers. Yeah. But not over here. No? Okay. It's very beautiful here. Yeah, you guys are lucky to be here. This is a good place to live. One of my final destinations, I was already like probably a good 4 weeks into this trip at this point. Spent a lot of time in the northern states, and so I headed to Mumbai. So I'm on my sleeper train from Varanasi to Mumbai. I'm hungry. I'm gonna try and find some food on this thing. We're stopping out in the middle of nowhere. Bye. Hello. Oh, here's the chai guy. Hi. Is this chai?
Chai.
Yeah, may I get some? Yeah. Do you also have food? Food?
Fruit, there's
No?
meals, like a meals.
Like biryani?
Biryani.
Yeah, biryani. Oh, sorry, here. Oh, that looks delicious. 20?
10 rupees.
10? Thank you so much. I wish there was like an observation car on this thing. It's like a 14-hour. I'm actually not going to Mumbai. I'm going to another town, but it's still going to be like 14 hours. You're going to Mumbai? Mumbai? Yeah? You're going there? Cool. The biryani?
Okay. I have biryani.
Yeah?
Egg biryani.
Egg? Do you have meat?
No meat, no meat.
Okay, I'll take one.
190 rupees.
Huh?
90 rupees.
90 rupees? Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Here's my delicious egg biryani. I'm eating it right by the toilets because there's no dining car on the train. So let's dig into this. Let's see how it tastes. This was 90 rupees, so like $1.10. Fire. Absolute fire. Yummy. Some of the fried egg and green onion. Nice and spicy. What are you selling?
Chai. You want tea?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I already had some. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, how much? You guys have a better view than I do back there. This is nice.
Hindi bolo na.
No, the view is better than mine.
बहुत अच्छा बोल रहे हमारा गांव बहुत अच्छा है
They got the fresh air car. You know? Now, Mumbai, regardless of what people say, it's pretty hectic. It's a massive city. It's the financial hub of India. It's a great place. I loved it. Was mainly going there. I probably wouldn't have gone there, but I was mainly going there because I had to visit the embassy because I was getting my visa for Afghanistan. That was my next country I was going to. And the only Afghan embassy that was closest to me in the whole world was in Mumbai. So I had to that's why I went down to Mumbai. Otherwise, I probably would have just stayed in the north. Spent like a week in Mumbai. Now, I got sick in Mumbai. It wasn't because of India. I was sick. I had gotten sick the month prior in Vietnam and it never really went away. They were treating me with antibiotics, but I think it kind of relapsed a little bit. So I was felt under the weather for a good 5 days while I was in Mumbai. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to explore a lot. I mostly just stayed in my accommodation. But I'll say this about Mumbai. I think it's a solid, really cool city to visit. One thing I noticed is the amount of young people. So the median age in India is like 28 years old. So it's got a generally very young population, especially compared to Western countries. Like in my country, the United States, it's just old people everywhere. But what's really cool about Mumbai is it's young people are just everywhere. They own a lot of businesses. So a lot of coffee shops I would go into, they would be like 20 somethings. And they'd be like, I'm the owner. I think it's so cool. And hostels I was in this really cool like 2-story hostel. And the owner was like a 24-year-old kid. Because it's like in my country, again, I'll say it again, it's just like 90-year-olds that like run the whole show. And you're just like, where's the young talent? Where's the young energy? And you get that in Mumbai. It's really refreshing. Another thing about Mumbai is a sense of entrepreneurship. Now, as a leftist, I don't, entrepreneurial culture is whatever. I personally dislike it. Hustle culture, especially in the West, is a problem, whatever. That's a subject for another video. But there is a sense of entrepreneurship in Mumbai, a sense of optimism about the future. Their country's, got a young population, the economy's growing, and you just get that sense of optimism and that entrepreneurial spirit. Also, I wanted to say another thing about the hostel culture in India. Normally, hostels are just, especially in Southeast Asia, they're just full of like 19-year-old British kids that are just on a drunken stupor holiday, the first time leaving their parents' homes. So it's really annoying, being older than the age of 25 and going into visiting hostels in Southeast Asia. But in India, it's really cool as a foreigner. When you visit hostels in India, they're just Indians mostly. So that's why I liked it, is it wasn't, all the hostels weren't just overrun with foreigners. I wasn't in a Western bubble, is what I'm trying to say. A lot of the few foreigners that I met in those hostels, they would always complain about this, but I was different. I liked it. Was the hostels in Mumbai were Indian people staying there on like business, like young entrepreneurs. Because they would be like, get up in the morning early, like putting on a suit and tie, and they're like, oh, I have like an interview or I'm going to a meeting or something. So you got a little sense and an experience of locals and local life in India and local life in Mumbai. So I kind of liked it. Varanasi, more touristy cities, it's mostly foreigners. It's about like 40% foreigners and like 60% Indians. That's why I like traveling in India. It's not like places like Thailand where it's just all foreigners. All of my safaris I went on, the national parks, it's their middle class, since India has a really flourishing and growing middle class. Most of the touristy places you go to in India are just other middle class Indians visiting from another state. So the hostels are like that too. Like most of the hostels are Indians traveling their country. I just like it. It's cool. It's nice to go to a country for once and it's not just British kids, Anyway, moving on. I left Mumbai, sadly. By this time I needed to go to Afghanistan now. My visa, one thing I didn't mention before, I accidentally, when I was in Bangladesh, when I was online, the Indian government website getting my visa, I accidentally purchased a 12-month visa, multi-entry visa. It's like $250. So you could get a multi-entry 1 calendar year long visa for India for like less than 200 British pounds. It's a really killer deal. I accidentally bought that. So I had like months and months left on my visa. I was only there for 5 weeks, I had still almost a year left. That visa is still valid. It'll be valid until April of this year. So it's like I was torn. I was like, I could spend a year, I'm not exaggerating, a year in India and be happy, bro. Like that's how much I loved it. But I had to move on. You know, I was crunched for time. I had to go back eventually to the USA, back to California to start a new job. So I was like, I wanted to go to Afghanistan. I had got my travel permits, my tour guide booked. So I was like, this is my one time. I can always come back to India, right? So this was my one opportunity to go to Afghanistan. So I got back on the train. I got this really nice, cool sleeper train. Now, here's a story about the hospitality of Indian people. Now, a lot of propaganda you see on the internet, on social media, on YouTube, these like, I hate to say this, but they're usually 9 times out of 10, they're always white British people, but a lot of white Europeans in general, they'll just say India is just this horrible place and like Indian people are mean and nasty and they're not hospitable at all. That's one of the biggest lies you'll ever hear. Indian people are, all South Asians are, but Indians also are very hospitable. So anyway, this story, quick story, I booked a train ticket, was dumb, and I mixed the times up. So I thought I had like 2 hours to get to the train station. But when I booked my taxi, my ride share on a motorbike, I looked at the ticket again for my train and it was leaving in like 45 minutes. Like when I booked it originally, I mixed the times up. So the biker comes and I'm like, oh, cancel the ride, man. It doesn't matter. I'm going to miss my train anyway. So I'm going to have to book another one for the next day. And he says, no, let me see your train. He was like, this is, what you booked was the main station in Mumbai. You're up, I was like staying up in the north part of Mumbai, north. And he was like, I'll just take you to a further north train station. We'll just meet the train before it leaves the city. He was like, it's already departed the station you booked it from, but I'll just take you north. So we went on this like hour and a half ride through the city on the back of that thing. You know, I'm holding on for dear life and he's taking me. He's like, no, I got you. I'll take care of you. I'll make sure you get your train. So I get my train. I don't miss it. Get off and he's like, it was something ridiculously cheap. I get off the bike, and this is a good example. I get off the bike, and he's like, it's like 250 rupees and we went across the city, man. It was like over an hour on the back of this bike. And he's like, 250 rupees, which is like over almost $3, less than 2 British pounds, like not that much money at all. And I was like, I gave him like 1,000 or something. I don't know. I gave him a lot, and he was like, sir, this is too much money. It's only 250. I'm like, bro, keep it. You're working hard. You took care of me. You got me to my train in time. He was just an honest, good person. And I feel like that's not represented enough in social media when it comes to India. People always point out the one time they were charged $1 more for their shitty like mango shake. And that's a perfect example of Indian hospitality. Anyway, so I took the sleeper train to Delhi. I'm on the train now from Mumbai to Delhi. It's currently May 22nd. Now, unfortunately, I was in Mumbai for over a week. I was not able to make any videos because I was feeling kind of under the weather. I think it was a relapse of what I got in Vietnam. For those of you guys who haven't been following me very long, I got pretty sick in Vietnam and I needed antibiotics. So I think I got a relapse of that. I went to a pharmacy and got more antibiotics and I feel better now. My energy's coming back.
Your name?
Hi, Stephen Hauser.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I was in Mumbai to get a visa for my next country. It's going to remain a secret until I fly out, and then I'll announce it. But anyway, I have a over 16-hour train ride to Delhi in my little coach car. I got dinner, snacks, water, and some chai. Yeah, Mumbai was great. I loved it. I'll make videos talking more about it, but unfortunately I was not able to film anything while I was there. By the way, this ticket cost me 3,800 rupees, which is about $47. You can convert this into a bed. So I got the curtains and everything, the privacy here. The journey is about 1,300 kilometers. So $47 to go 1,300 kilometers, and there's AC, so not bad, and my meals are included as well. I like the privacy for sure with the curtains. Now, Delhi, if you go to New Delhi, the place you should stay, and I did my research, unlike the average British backpacker, I actually did my research, and you stay in South Delhi, which is sort of kind of adjacent to the airport. Specifically, you want to stay in Green Park, which is a beautiful suburb. It's wealthier. It's a wealthier suburb in South Delhi, and it's surrounded by big parks, nature. It's great. It's really quiet. That's again another myth that these like whiteys from Europe can't stop talking about, is somehow there's honking all the time. In Green Park, South Delhi, there's like no honking. It's very quiet. Great. I stayed there for like 5 days, dude. Like almost a week. That's how much I loved South Delhi. South Delhi is like an amazing city, specifically South Delhi. I just hung out, you know, and I just lived life, and it was great. And, you know, I didn't have a care in the world. I just arrived in New Delhi. This is my hotel room, $47 a night. It's located in Green Park, which is, it's a gated community. So it's really nice. There's like cafes that, you know, nice restaurants around, pretty good. Okay, just hunting for some food. Thank you so much. You know, just making this video because India is not the third world country that people claim it is. You know, you can have nice things here. There's this restaurant I want to try. It's up the street a little ways. I think it's like 10 minutes walking. It looks nice. It's got good reviews. The clay oven.
Yes, okay.
Right here?
Yes, right.
Thank you. Late lunch. It's already 1 in the afternoon, but whatever. Hello. That was delicious. 10 out of 10. It was about 1,500 rupees, which is like 18 USD. Look at all these options you get at convenience stores in India. I'm in New Delhi right now. Look at this. You got your fermented milks. You got your sodas. You got your different waters. They also have soda water. You got your juices right here. Look at all these protein shakes. You got your electrolytes and then all the coffee right here. I'm getting this. This looks delicious. And then you got more juices down here. And then over here, you've got all the snacks. You got the chips. And people are trying to say India is a third world country. I don't believe that. I think that's propaganda. Look at this. Amazing. Just going into this public park. Oh wow, look at this place. This is beautiful. This is Deer Park. This is beautiful and so peaceful. And people say India is just hectic all the time in chaos. That could not be further from the truth. Hello, sir. So I'm on this bench talking to myself like an idiot in the camera, and I don't even know what's happening in the tree right above me. But this is just another reason why India is one of the most exotic places I've ever been. Look at this. And you probably can't see because of the wide angle lens, but there are so many hundreds of bats. Dude, you see those little black spots? Those are bats. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen, dude. There are so many bats. They're huge. They're like sleeping up here in the tree. This is incredible. Right there. I feel so safe too. If I was in the United States, people would be blasting loud music, getting into fights, stabbing and shooting each other. But here in India, dude, it's like the Garden of Eden. I'm not just saying this for rage bait. I mean, I really mean this. Doesn't this seem safe to you? Seems safe to me. Right in the middle of Delhi too. And look how peaceful this is. So I moved accommodation. I don't know if you can see this, but this is what $12 a night gets you in Deer Park, New Delhi. This is a super nice area. It's got the park, so there's like fresh air and stuff. It's not like surrounded by concrete like the other parts of the city. There were nicer places I wanted to go to, but I really like this area, Green Park in South Delhi, so I decided to come here. But yeah, this is $12 a night. It's like a Japanese capsule style, so you actually have privacy. And then the curtains close like that. And I think there's an upstairs part. This is a deer park. So it's like in the middle of a 95 acre park here in the middle of South Delhi. It's really nice though. Yeah, you're surrounded by nature. So you're not like in the inner city. So if you're in Delhi, I would recommend staying in either Green Park or even Deer Park, somewhere in the south. Wraps it up for my trip to the great country of India, bro. The great kingdom of India. I've been to a lot of countries, like over 40. I don't really keep track because I'm not one of these autistic content creators that they're like country counters. It's like a measuring contest. They want to just know how many countries you've been to, and that's all that counts. It's quantity over quality. You know, I've been to around 40, I guess. Most of those countries I had a good experience, but I would never go back, you know, just because I just don't have time. But India is definitely one I will definitely go back 100%. I see myself going back, whether that's this year, next year, I don't know when, but I know it will come. I will go back. Now, I'm going to talk about now the cons. Two things, like prices and the myth of like safety, which is coincides to like the scamming. Content creators love to like paint India as it's some sort of just one giant scam. You just around every corner you're just gonna get swindled and just robbed of all your money. What I will say is, like, in most countries around the world, what you go to outside of like the West, as a white Western traveler, you're gonna get overcharged. That's just is what it is. It's kind of like a tax of going to those places. You may agree with it, you may not. That's a subject for another video. I don't really care. The point is like, if you're a white Western traveler traveling to a lot of Asian countries, African, South America, you can kind of afford to get nickeled and dimed. That's just, it is what it is. I'm not saying it's right for them to overcharge you. It's just, it happens. What you hear, what begins the problem, and you may not like it, that's fine, but what becomes the problem is when these travel content creators act like paying $1 or one British pound more than like what a local would is like this huge issue. It's just not. So, you know, does that happen in India? Sure. But is it that big of a deal? Absolutely not. Just pay it. Stop haggling over a $5 rickshaw ride from the airport to your hotel, your accommodation. That's like 45 minutes for $5 when you're complaining because supposedly locals pay $3. You know what I mean? So just, if you're not willing to just do that, just pay what people ask, then don't go. I guess that's an issue. Again, it's not an issue for me. I usually just pay them. It's $2 extra, whatever. As far as scams go, I didn't feel like it was any more than any other country in Asia. Like, a lot of Asian countries are very transactional to Westerners. It is what it is. It's whatever. I felt like Thailand was pretty transactional. You know, they just wanted my money, which is fine. You know, I'm there to spend money. They want it. You know, I don't feel like India is any worse than anywhere else. Maybe it is to some people. Book online, use apps. Use Indian booking apps. There's a couple of them. Booking.com works in India. And because if you just show up at a hotel, they're going to charge you more than you would online, because the desk person is going to, I think, get a commission. That was one of the incidences I ran into. So just make sure you book stuff ahead of time. That's really important with India, and you won't get scammed. Be mature and have some forethought, which I feel like a lot of Westerners that go to India don't have forethought. Sometimes when you go to check out, I don't know if this is a scam or not, but like a couple places like in Kolkata, they tried to charge me again. They're like, "Sir, you didn't pay." And when I went to check out, I had to pull up the booking and I was like, show them, no, I paid. They charged me. And so they were like, okay, that's fine. I don't think that they were trying to scam me. I just think it was a, lack of communication. I don't really care. It's not an issue. As far as safety goes, India is like one of the safest countries I've ever been to. I've never felt in fear of my life once. Places like the Americas, farther north territories of Canada, all the way down to the southern tip of Argentina, has really sketchy areas. You know, the Americas are just like that. India, you don't really get, people aren't trying to hurt you. Indian people are not violent people for the most part. So I think the safety is like pretty high up there compared to the places I've been to. I never felt sketched out once. With the staring, people talk about that. Specifically, solo female travelers. I'm not going to comment on the safety of women solo female traveling in India. I'm obviously not a woman. I can't comment on that. There are other female content creators that can inform you if you're a woman thinking about going to India. What I will say this about the safety is when people come up and ask you for a selfie and you're a woman, that's not necessarily sexual harassment because everybody gets asked for selfies if you're a foreigner in India. I got tons of requests for selfies. So, if you're a woman and people come up to you, guys come up to you and ask you for a selfie, it's just a thing they do with foreigners. It's not specific to women. It is what it is. I like it. A lot of other travelers I met, foreign Western travelers, they hated it. I don't know why. The biggest thing I would say with India is it's not, and this might be controversial, it is not a budget travel destination. It's just not. On the surface, it feels like it is because you can get accommodation, $5 a night, ridiculously cheap private rooms. But with India, it's one of those places where it doesn't come with quality. So the more money you spend, it's kind of like America. The more money you spend, the better quality you get. A lot of budget travelers from Britain or wherever, they expect to go to India and spend $5 a day and get the same treatment they would in other countries. A good example would be Vietnam. You can get really nice private rooms for $15 a night. India is just not one of those countries. I don't know what it is, but you just have to spend quite a bit more money than you would in other places in the world to have a decent experience. So for example, a private hotel room, not a hostel, I would recommend at least $100 US per night, depending on what state you're in and what city you're in, between $50 to $100 a night for any major city to get something decent. And people are oh, that's a lot. It's well, then don't go to India, I guess, go to Thailand. But you just got to spend more. It's not unless you're okay with being absolutely really uncomfortable. So for example, one of the nights in Varanasi, I spent $5 a night for a hostel dorm room. But I wasn't complaining. It's just, I didn't feel like spending a whole lot of money. So I spent $5 a night and I got a room with 4 bunk beds in it. And that was literally just it. There was no AC. There was no curtains on the windows. It was a shared bathroom. But it was $5 a night. And then I went to Bandhavgarh National Park and spent $250 a night and had this mansion all to myself. So it's just not a cheap country in the sense that you're gonna get quality with cheapness. About the only thing you can really do in India, it would be food is probably cheap consistently. The street food, I didn't eat street food at all. I wouldn't recommend eating street food. Any country you go to in the world, I don't eat street food. I went to restaurants mostly, and you can get a really good meal for 300 to 400 rupees, and then on the higher end, 500 to 600 rupees. That's still less than $7, $6, or 4 British pounds. That's still really, really cheap for a meal if you're comparing it to Western standards. So even in India, even if you spend more than the broke-ass backpacker does, you're still spending way less than you would in a Western country. That's what it is. There's tons to see. The Indian cities, I personally like Indian cities, but if you're gonna go there to India, I would personally recommend you stay away from the cities and go to nature. Okay, final thoughts. The do's, things ahead of time. Spend more money than you would think you would need to spend in India. Those are the 2 things, okay? Visit more national parks, go outside of cities. The 3 don'ts, I would say don't eat street food. With the content you see, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be honest here. 90% of the content online you see white Western foreigners in India, they're just lying. They're being disingenuous because I'm not gonna get into the semantics or the details. I have no idea, but it's just really popular nowadays to be racist towards South Asians, specifically Indian people in the West. I don't know why. Popular trend nowadays is just to go to India and just, with forethought that you're not going to like it as this traveler, but you still go anyway just to make content. It's very bizarre, because India is magical in that sense, where it is a content farm. My views went up when I was in India. When I go back, they will go up. Anybody who goes and makes content about India, you're going to get views. So, it's like that, and there's endless content potential. You can stay there for a year and not run out of things to film, to talk about, to photograph. It's just amazing. It's an amazing place. And just for some weird reason, Westerners abuse that. They just go and just lie, walking around Delhi and purposely trying to get food poisoning and say, see, this is such an unhygienic country. You're just an idiot. You're purposely doing that. You're not edgy. You're not cool. You're not funny. Like it's all nonsense. I don't need to harp on this. I've made videos before. They're all lying. All these white men, all these white people that go, they're just lying because it's trendy now. If you watch Mike OK, he's like one of the more tolerable limeys that goes. His most recent video about India, he was, he's honest. If you genuinely have it in your heart that you want to visit, then go for it. If you're just going just to make content, or you're going because you think you'll like it and you're not sure, I wouldn't go. But yeah, I would give India personally, for me, it probably like an 8 out of 10, like 1 being not so great at all and 10 being the best. I would give it like an 8.5. I think it's an amazing country that's so diverse and it offers so much complexity. It's a journey through time. It's an amazing place. So yeah, I would recommend it. Only experienced travelers, okay? Older, like if you're like 19 and you're like a dumbass British person, and to go to like Thailand. But like if you're like somewhat experienced and you like to challenge yourself and you like authenticity and something that's a country that's not so westernized and something that might be a little tricky, not as easy as going to Thailand, because Thailand is catered to Westerners. India is not catered to Westerners, so it might be a little tricky. If you're one of those kind of people, then go. I also think it's funny, just a short little comment here before I close this video out, because it's pretty long now. Content creators that go to India and like talk shit about it, they're like supposed like world travelers. It's just funny how these like world travelers that have been supposedly all over the world and they're these seasoned veteran, they go and they have like this horrible experience. It's like, I feel like it's on purpose. It's like self-inflicted. Like a lot of these travelers, they just like purposely do stupid shit or like don't plan stuff. That would be another thing of like the do's, or maybe one of the don'ts is like, don't like wing it. You got to plan ahead of time. So book trains ahead of time, book accommodation ahead of time, spend extra money, and you'll have a good time. If you're open-minded though, like if you're going to India and you've already have a preconceived notion of how the country is, you're going to have a horrible time. No, it's not for everybody, and it is what it is. That's fine. I would say, but I do think it's up there. Probably not my top 5, but definitely top 10 countries